telling stories of wealth, favoring all aspects of life. This is Stories of Wealth. I'm Wang Kai. Years later, when people look back at the history of Chinese enterprises marching towards the world, they will surely remember such a scene. The Chinese national flag is raised in a foreign land. The national anthem is played, and everyone in the audience stands up. But before this moment came, almost no one believed that a Chinese private enterprise could truly take center stage globally. The protagonist of this story is Li Jinyuan, a man from Kangzhou, Hebei province. He founded TIENS Group in 1995, which became an immediate success in the domestic health product market. TV commercials were broadcast from morning till night, and billboards could be seen throughout the streets. At that time, he enjoyed complete success in China. However, at the height of his success, a humiliating experience abroad completely changed his and Tian's fate. And this story starts with this humiliation. In 1997, Li Jinyuan went to the United States for an inspection. When he was dining in a Chinese restaurant, he saw several foreigners staring at the Chinese waiters with unfriendly eyes and talking about something. He sensed something was wrong and asked the interpreter, who told him that the foreigners said Chinese people can't do anything but run restaurants. This deeply stung Li Jinyuan. It was a humiliation, an unprecedented one. Later, his experience in Russia made this 1.83-meter tall man flush with shame from his face to his neck.
When I went to the street to inspect the market, some shopping malls even hung signs at the entrance saying, "No Chinese goods here."
Yes, as a Chinese person, who wouldn't be angry to see this? But on the other hand, we brought this on ourselves. Think about it. In the early 1990s, fake cigarettes, fake alcohol, fake shoes, and fake down jackets, sold by a small number of unscrupulous Chinese businessmen, completely ruined the reputation of Chinese goods in Russia. Once the reputation was tarnished, all subsequent Chinese products, whether good or bad, suffered the consequences. This discrimination made him deeply realize that the reason why Chinese products could not enter the international market was not the products themselves, but the lack of credibility.
This is discrimination against China. We must stand on our own 2 feet and strive for self-improvement and open up this market with honesty and credibility.
What kind of person is Li Jinyuan? The more he was told not to do something, the more he insisted on doing it. The greater the difficulty, the more daring he was to take on the challenge. Standing on Moscow's Red Square, Li Jinyuan vowed that he would lead Tian's to bravely venture into Russia, making foreigners cast away their biased views and completely change their perception of Chinese products. As soon as he returned from Russia, Li Jinyuan immediately announced the plan to enter the Russian market, which caused an uproar in the company.
For successful Chinese enterprises to go global, they have to overcome cultural differences between countries, as well as differences in language, environment, way of thinking, and even religion. So, the challenges are already huge, and the inherent perceptions of Chinese products by foreigners have made it even more difficult.
Think about it. Foreigners had no good impression of Chinese products at all, yet he insisted on asking for trouble. Moreover, Li Jinyuan didn't even finish high school and couldn't speak a word of Russian. How could he possibly do business with Russians? It was simply a fantasy. But Li Jinyuan was the kind of person who dared to walk into the perilous positions despite knowing the danger. After all, he was the chairman. It didn't matter that no one followed him. With a map and a calculator, he set off alone. As soon as the plane landed, Li Jinyuan immediately set about sales work without pause. He visited every shopping mall and store every day, met people from all walks of life, and only slept 4 or 5 hours a day. However, unexpectedly, not a single box of products was sold in a month. Soon, his embarrassing experience in Russia spread back to China.
No one asked about the products, let alone bought them. In this regard, they only bought European goods or local products.
Despite our painstaking efforts and endless promotion, the results were in reality minimal. People still viewed our products with skepticism and reluctance.
At that time, Tien's was a household name in China, but this was Russia. No one cared who Li Jinyuan was. No one knew him at all, so Li Jinyuan suffered a crushing defeat. Even more embarrassingly, some people regarded him as a fraud and threatened to call the police if he didn't leave immediately. Standing on the streets of Moscow, as the autumn wind blew, Li Jinyuan's heart had already fallen into a cold winter in advance.
It truly breaks my heart, and I'm really feeling wretched, such agony, as if a knife were twisting my heart, as if my skin were being flayed and my tendons torn out.
The aggressive approach proved ineffective. At a dinner gathering with fellow townsmen, Li Jinyuan had a sudden inspiration and boldly put forward a cross-industry idea. An inter-industry alliance. Transform restaurants into promotion positions and training bases for Tien's products. Operate as normal during business hours and conduct product training during off-peak hours, with the company providing comprehensive support and enablement. Upon hearing this, the restaurant owners immediately approved. This is a great idea. Li Jinyuan was so excited that he did not sleep at all that night, busying himself with preparations. He organized a training session the next day, but unexpectedly, this first training session dealt him a significant setback.
We were full of anticipation. The local manager said he had invited many local customers and distributors to attend the meeting. We thought it would be like in China, with many enthusiastic listeners or potential consumers coming to listen to a foreign general manager give a lecture in person. We were filled with such expectations, but unfortunately, we waited, and no one showed up.
We had invited more than 60 people, but only a handful attended.
Oh no! Those who should have come didn't, while those who shouldn't have come all showed up. We originally planned to invite well-known and influential Russian entrepreneurs and distributors, but none of them came. Instead, the audience was all elderly women who could barely walk unaided. We expected 60 to 70 people, but now there were only 6 or 7 in front of us. What would you have done? How could one deliver a lecture in such circumstances?
I will give the lecture even if there's only one person left. This was a true test of my perseverance and composure.
The audience was rather indifferent. They just came to listen, largely out of courtesy to the host, or out of curiosity to see what this new thing was like. In fact, they arrived with a preconceived sense of rejection.
We had no choice but to swallow our pride. Bi Jinyuan said nothing, straightened his posture, and stood at the podium. 2 hours passed, and remarkably not a single person left. After the training, Li Jinyuan presented each attendee with Tian product, and one elderly lady specially requested 2 additional boxes. The fact that someone wanted the products brought Li Jinyuan a measure of reassurance. He thought to himself that once the products were out there would eventually be returning customers. We know our own products well. A quality product will always stand the test of time, and customers will definitely come back after using it. But unexpectedly, whole month passed, and not a single customer came back. Bi Jinyuan grew increasingly anxious and restless. At that very moment, someone appeared at the door. Who was it? It was someone he knew, the elderly lady who had requested 2 additional boxes of product at the lecture.
We hurried to ask the old lady, "Did you experience positive results after using the products?" The old lady said, "No," she added. "I first gave them to my cats and dogs, and the effect was good. So I tried them myself." Oh, we felt deeply conflicted at that moment.
It was ridiculous that TIENS products were first tested on cats and dogs. Li Jinyuan was at a loss for words.
It really was a profound realization for me.
Why are you still here in such a predicament? Return to China and continue the business in more favorable condition. Don't suffer this foreign humiliation anymore. As you might have guessed, Li Jinyuan would never do that. But if he didn't give up, what else could he do? Everyone thought that Li Jinyuan, who was now in a dilemma, was destined to fail. But a few days later, this stubborn man not only refused to come back himself, but also dispatched a large number of core team members from the domestic company to Russia by air. What exactly was he planning? Taking all the people with him, Li Jinyuan came to the Red Square again. He secretly vowed in his heart he must make Russians willingly buy Tian's products with their own money and make them unable to do without them from then on. Subsequently, Li Jinyuan decided to do something big, and he was determined to make a significant impact in Russia.
I said that if I want to do something, I must prove two things. First, by holding this conference here, I must prove that TIENS is a powerful enterprise. Second, that we are confident and self-reliant.
Li Jinyuan had a catchphrase, nuclear fission. What does it mean? It means creating a sensational effect, like a nuclear-scale impact. Since none of you know me, Li Jinyuan, I will hold a world-class award ceremony to open your eyes wide and let you foreigners see the strength of Tian. This time, Li Jinyuan was going to direct a major production himself, and he wanted to be the most outstanding director. He chose the Moscow Bolshoi Theater as the venue, a place where Russia holds grand ceremonies. He then invited dancers from the Russian ballet to perform the classic ballet, Swan Lake. With first-class sound lighting, stage design, and performers, plus distributors from all over the world, the lineup was truly remarkable, to use a phrase from the Spring Festival Gala. How much is this going to cost? You may be surprised to learn that $17.5 million.
The team took the budget book to Mr. Li and explained that the cost of venue rental, inviting performers, transportation, and other expenses were exceptionally high. They concluded that holding the conference would result in a deficit and place a significant financial burden on the company. Moreover, the short-term market prospects were difficult to predict. They reported these concerns to Mr. Li with doubts, and they actually opposed the idea. But Mr. Li stated with firm determination that he was determined to hold the conference, and not only hold it, but hold it well.
What does $17.5 million mean? To put it into perspective, Tian's total sales in Russia for several months were less than $600,000. The gap between $17.5 million and $600,000, investing $17.5 million without making any profit first, who would agree to do such a thing? But who is Li Jinyuan? Once he makes a decision, his decision remains unchanged. A few minutes before the start of the celebration conference, several distinguished guests arrived at the VIP room, including former President of the Soviet Union, Mikhail Gorbachev, former Prime Minister of the Soviet Union, Nikolai Ryzhkov, and Chinese Ambassador to Russia, Wu Tao. When Ryzhkov pushed the door open and saw Gorbachev at a glance, he paused for a moment, and the atmosphere at the scene fell into brief silence. Then he looked directly at Li Jinyuan, and Gorbachev and Ambassador Wu Tao also cast their eyes on him in unison. Just as everyone felt slightly uneasy, Gorbachev and Ryzhkov walked quickly towards each other almost at the same time, hugged naturally, and exchanged a cheek kiss, etiquette used only among close relatives and friends in the West, which unexpectedly took place at the celebration of this Chinese private enterprise. Seeing this, Ambassador Wu Tao on the side could not help but exclaim, "Oh, Tian is a peace ambassador, a real peace ambassador," Li Jinyuan recalled later. At that moment, I was momentarily stunned. When talking about this experience, his tone was filled with both excitement and pride. Because this was not just a simple hug, but a reconciliation between former political rivals, and business had become a bridge connecting them. He was not a diplomat, but he did the work of connection. He was not a political figure, but he promoted trust between countries. At that moment, he was hailed by everyone as an ambassador of peace. At this international grand event, he not only let Russian etiquette ladies wear Chinese tang suits, but also went even further.
I held a meeting with our internal management and said that they must do as I said. When everyone stands up, first of all, we must play the Chinese national anthem and raise the Chinese national flag.
Are you serious? Where are you? On Russian soil? How dare a small Chinese enterprise like Tian make such a request? You're really overestimating yourself. Do you think they will agree?
I said, this is a corporate act, not a state act, and we must have such ambition and confidence.
Li Jinyuan was really exceptionally bold, insisting on staging such a thrilling scene. If it failed, it would be a significant embarrassment, and we wondered how he would clean up the mess. Watching the staff shake their heads like a rattle, all TIENS employees were deeply anxious. They knew that if the flag-raising staff refused to do it, Li Jinyuan would never let it go. But if the Eiffel Star red flag of China was raised during the ceremony, no one knew what would happen at the scene. Everyone felt extremely tense. The stage lights dimmed slowly. The music stopped, and the host made a formal announcement. Raise the Chinese national flag. The solemn Chinese national anthem was played, and the 5-star red flag rose slowly in the Moscow Bolshoi Theater. Everyone in the audience stood in solemn silence, and at that moment, the air seemed to stand still. This was not a diplomatic occasion or a national ceremony, but an international celebration of a Chinese private enterprise. Yet the Chinese national flag was raised in the most solemn way. In the audience, 127 senior officials, including former President of the Soviet Union Gorbachev, former Prime Minister of the Soviet Union Ryzhkov, Ambassador to the President of the Russian Federation, Shevchenko, and Deputy Prime Minister of the Russian Federation, Matvienko, as well as global distributors, stood in solemn tribute.
As the solemn national anthem played and the 5-star red flag rose slowly, we employees were truly filled with excitement. We all stood up, and many of us had tears in our eyes.
Finally, as a private enterprise overseas, I feel extremely proud. I was really excited that day.
The Chinese national flag fluttered high over Russia during the ceremony, and as soon as the flag-raising ceremony ended, the audience responded with prolonged and enthusiastic applause. Listening to the enthusiastic applause, Li Jinyuan felt a profound sense of fulfillment. As a Chinese entrepreneur, he felt an unprecedented sense of pride and honor at this moment. Subsequently, the Russian ballet took the stage to perform, with the interweaving of music and lights and distributors from all over the world gathered together. When the last note fell, applause erupted once again.
On-site awarding 111 successful hero luxury cars, 30 luxury yachts, 17 private jets, 3 luxury villas.
After that night, the ice was broken, and the Russian market began to open up in earnest. In China, TIENS production workshops were busier than ever before in months. Machines started running at full speed, and the backlogged products in the warehouses were continuously shipped out by train and plane. Not only did TIENS sales in Russia surge several times overnight like taking a stimulant, but distributors from faraway countries such as the United States, Germany, Indonesia, India, Kazakhstan, the Middle East, South Africa, Brazil, and Peru also took the initiative to contact TIENS. Li Jinyuan was extremely delighted. Looking at the small medicine bottles on the production line, he felt as if he was counting US dollars with his eyes closed.
By holding this conference, we predicted that the effect on market development would rise sharply, achieving a doubling and redoubling effect.
The $17.5 million US investment created a remarkable explosive growth effect, making TIENS recognized globally. The shift from rejection to pursuit of TIENS was driven by its superior product quality and advanced R&D capabilities. In Li Jinyuan's words, he used to be trying to move 1,000 jin with 4 jin of strength, and this 4 jin almost crushed him. Now TIENS sales are experiencing rapid growth. How experiencing rapid growth? If you place an order today, delivery may take up to 3 months. This is exactly what Li Jinyuan said. I will not only encourage you to purchase willingly, but also make you become reliant on our products.
Some people had certain health problems before, But after taking Tian's products, they felt a noticeable difference, which made them highly surprised. At first, they didn't think it was due to the products and remained puzzled. However, after a period of observation, they found that when they stopped taking the products for a while, their previous problems recurred.
With superior product quality, sales naturally posed no challenge. The supply shortage made Tian's products quickly sell out. Distributors who had paid money but couldn't get the goods soon approached the company for clarification.
The distributors expressed strong dissatisfaction. "We have paid all the money to your company, and you must give us an explanation." They persistently followed up on a daily basis.
Such remarks were particularly harsh. Li Jinyuan forged ahead into Russia for one thing only: reputation. If the problem was delayed any longer, Tian's would be ultimately harm its own credibility. Watching the branch company being surrounded by distributors, everyone was already in a state of panic. But Li Jinyuan actually bought a plane ticket and returned to China at such a critical juncture. The situation had become extremely urgent, and you just up and left what was the intention behind this decision.
When discussing the cooperation, I presented my overall strategy to our management meeting.
Little did they know that Li Jinyuan had already identified a strategy to break the impasse, integrate domestic resources, and build a brand new cross-category, cross-regional, and cross-industry chain supply system. Li Jinyuan realized that even if the workers in the production workshop worked continuously around the clock without eating or sleeping, they still couldn't meet the sales demand. There was only one way forward for him. He had to change his approach to save Tian.
This task must be prioritized and carried out immediately. First, identify and source high-quality health supplement products from Chinese enterprises that are struggling with market sales in a short period of time. Second, establish strategic partnerships with these enterprises.
During that period, Li Jinyuan was truly a frequent flyer. While assigning production tasks to the factory, he traveled extensively between cities across the country, working around the clock. He'd often be in Harbin in the morning and Shanghai by the afternoon, then headed to Guangzhou bright and early the next day, followed by Hangzhou. He discussed cooperation with 3 companies a day and connected with 10 enterprises over 3 days, repeatedly finalizing the standards, quality, delivery schedules, and profit margins. And the calls from Russia just kept coming in, continuously creating immense pressure.
Many people demanded a refund, threatened legal action, and some even resorted to shouting abuse. We were thus under immense pressure, which led Mr. Li to travel to Russia a second time.
Upon arriving in Russia, the first thing Li Jinyuan said to the distributors was that he guaranteed on-time delivery in a week, and that more than a dozen new products would be available by then. Everyone present was half convinced and half doubtful. Yet, this Chinese businessman, who spoke with a thick Hangzhou accent from Hubei province, was always a man of his word. These skeptical distributors were all wondering, was Li Jinyuan going to perform magic?
I couldn't meet the demand and opportunity in overseas markets by myself, so I selected about 90 enterprises domestically.
As it turned out, during this period, Li Jinyuan raced against time, joined forces with more than 90 domestic enterprises, developed over a dozen new products, and quickly put them into production. That's why he dared to vouch with absolute confidence in front of everyone and say, "No problem." This battle was fought extremely brilliantly. The on-week deadline arrived, and the products were finally delivered to Russia, as promised. The distributors were deeply astonished. At this time, TIENS activated over a dozen production lines overnight, expanded raw material procurement simultaneously, unified the quality inspection system standards, and fully restructured the logistics system. It successfully established a comprehensive supply system ranging from health food to daily chemical products, and from nutritional supplements to healthcare. TIENS was no longer a single product company, but a fully developed international operational system. TIENS also gained significant international recognition. A huge number of follow-up orders continued to increase steadily from Europe, North America, Africa, and Latin America. Let me tell you, this is just the first big show directed by Li Jinyuan, and further developments would follow. The second Third and fourth acts are even more remarkable. On May the 5th, 2001, TIEN's second International Annual Conference was held on a grand scale in Bangkok, Thailand. At that time, Thai Prime Minister Chavalit Yangchayud and Chinese Ambassador to Thailand Yan Ting-kai attended in person and delivered keynote speeches. This was a formal political recognition, the highest level political recognition in Southeast Asia. Distributors from 39 countries around the world participated in the conference, with police cars leading the way and a luxury motorcade parading in Bangkok. The main venue was set at the Thailand Royal Theatre. On-site awarding 54 successful hero BMW cars. This conference officially established TIEN's leading position in Southeast Asia, drove the explosive growth of markets in Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, and other countries. Marked the beginning of the second phase of TIEN's globalization. In August 2001, on the Baltic coast in St. Petersburg, significant news came from Beijing. China successfully bid for the 2008 Olympic Games. At this moment of national celebration, TIEN's people resonated with the national honor and presented a remarkable visual spectacle in a foreign land. At the grand ceremony, Ukrainian aerospace officials and chairmen of industry associations from many countries gathered. Former Soviet cosmonaut Valery Vladimirovich Polyakov came to the scene with his wife to express their sincere gratitude to TIENS Group and Mr. Li Jinyuan. He sincerely said, "During my space mission, TIENS products provided crucial nutritional support for my body, effectively supplemented calcium, and helped maintain my health." Wonderful! This heartfelt recognition deeply moved every guest at the scene. Relying on its superior quality, the Russian Space Agency Research Institute rigorously selected thousands of products and finally selected TIENS's high calcium nutritional granule cordyceps chitosan, zinc supplement, crystal, and spirulina as the special nutritional product set for Russian national astronauts, pilots, nuclear submarine divers, and workers in the nuclear industry. On-site awarding 80 successful hero BMW cars, 13 private jets, 37 luxury yachts. Once again, TIENS earned global respect and trust with its strong product strength. Li Jinyuan even personally directed the event. At that time, light rain was falling on the Baltic coast. On the grand square by the coast, he paid tribute to the Olympics in a unique way. 80 BMW cars formed the Olympic rings pattern. Russian sales representatives and TIENS employees held umbrellas printed with the TIENS logo, arranged to form the pattern of TIENS plus people to hold up the Olympic rings. In the sky, helicopters hovered and conducted aerial filming to record this spectacular moment. In the sea, luxury yachts were arranged to form a joint fleet, complementing the scene harmoniously on the shore. Local people and foreign tourists watching on the spot expressed their amazement. It is like a large-scale cinematic production. Many even thought it was a professional team making a film. Faced with this incredible scene, foreigners from all over the world were filled with admiration.
We faced great hardships in the early days of entrepreneurship, and we have come to today through unwavering confidence. Seeing such success, I am extremely honored and excited.
This was not flaunting wealth, but the confidence of a Chinese private enterprise going global. The national self-confidence and corporate self-confidence deeply ingrained. TIENS's globalization strategy moved from the ice-breaking stage to the rooting stage, and TIENS was truly recognized and acknowledged by the world. In November 2002, TIENS' third International Annual Conference was held as scheduled. This time, it was a solemn commitment honored by TIENS to global distributors. And even more, a new journey of TIENS' global expansion. Witnessed by more than 5,000 people on the scene, TIENS officially announced the award list, instantly igniting the enthusiasm of the whole audience. First, the list of winners of 113 BMW luxury cars was announced, followed by the awarding of 43 luxury yachts. Then, the allocation of 32 private jets was revealed. And finally, the final award of 6 luxury villas was launched, setting a new benchmark for the scale of overseas rewards by a private enterprise. This comprehensive reward scheme covering land, sea, and air left the audience in awe, with resounding applause and continuous cheers on the scene. At the ceremony, TIENS, its pride and confidence were once again demonstrated. The Chinese national flag was raised first. A bright 5-star red flag once again witnessed the strong capabilities of Chinese enterprises on foreign soil. Former President of the Soviet Union, Mikhail Gorbachev, presented with Li Jinyuan the UN Doctor of Ecological Security Certificate. TIENS was presented with the UN Supplier Membership Certificate and presented with the UN Peace Flag. Gerhard Schroeder, Federal Chancellor of the Federal Republic of Germany, is unable to attend the event in person due to important state affairs. Has specially appointed Mr. Volkmar Strauch, State Secretary of the German federal government, to deliver a profound and meaningful letter.
Respected President Li Jinyuan, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, or perhaps I should say, dear members of the great TIENS family, today, on behalf of the Senate, at the Berlin International Congress Center, to warmly welcome all of you here. It gives me immense honor and delight. Chancellor Gerhard Schroeder had intended to welcome you all in person, but he is currently on an official visit to Shanghai, where he is attending the meeting of the International Business Leaders Council. So today I extend his greetings to all of you on his behalf. To have so many guests from all over the world attend this conference is an important symbol for us that Berlin is the ideal venue for such events, which makes us extremely delighted. Thank you for choosing Berlin as the host city for this conference. Berlin aspires to be an international, open, and inclusive city. Your presence here today fully demonstrates the openness and international character of our city. We sincerely thank TIENS for choosing Berlin as the location of your European regional headquarters. This trust is a great recognition of our city. We hope that Berlin will live up to this expectation. I would like to take this opportunity to emphasize in particular, as our Indonesian friend put it, please allow me to quote his view, Berlin is undergoing a process of industrial transformation. We want our city of Berlin to become a high-quality product. Only when we have become such a high-quality product will the TIENS Group choose Berlin again to host the next annual conference. Yet I must mention that we are facing numerous changes. As you know, 12 years ago, Berlin was still a divided city, and today's Berlin is undergoing a multifaceted integration process, both at the economic level and the social level. From the perspective of personal life experience, residents of East Berlin and West Berlin have completely different life experiences. I am not saying that this will cause a host of problems, but rather want to emphasize that this is a major challenge we face that we need to address. This requires creativity, professional competence, and curiosity about new things, as well as certain other qualities. From the speeches I have heard today, these qualities are equally important to your company and your employees. These are typical and representative characteristics. The Senate has long believed that a shift in mindset has a far-reaching impact. Our goal is precisely to achieve this shift in mindset. We must embrace new challenges. Only when we can correspondingly adjust our way of thinking can we overcome this new challenge. Tomorrow you will have time to visit this city, which makes me very glad. What you will mainly see are the cultural and architectural heritage of Berlin. What you will not see as much is what is happening inside these buildings in Berlin, what the people inside are doing, and what tasks they need to accomplish. Building on the topics of your annual conference, I would also like to emphasize in particular that the product that is Berlin, of course, consists not only of buildings, nor only of events. More importantly, it is the people. The product that is Berlin is co-created by all its participants. I hope that we Berliners can showcase this product Berlin to you well, and do an excellent job of promoting this product. I just want to briefly mention those things you cannot see. We are striving to build this place into a city of knowledge, a talent highland, from our perspective for the future. Knowledge is the most important resource. We want to focus this knowledge in specific areas, including new media and the overall communication infrastructure. We focus on the development of transportation technology. You have seen those beautiful BMW cars in the hall, but they are not produced in Berlin. However, all BMW motorcycles are manufactured in Berlin, including the engines for Mercedes-Benz Smart and the engines for Mercedes-Benz Maybach are all made in Berlin. We have two core sectors, which are closely linked to your work. One is the biotechnology sector. The other is the medical technology sector. I firmly believe that we must expand this sector, in line with your vision, into what the UK and the US call the life sciences sector. I believe the health sector, including physical and mental well-being, is a sector with great prospects in my view. We want to develop it further and look forward to your support. I hope this city can bring you some inspiration and motivation. And in turn, I also hope that we Berliners can also, from the spirit that you all embody, gain inspiration and encouragement. I wish you every success with the conference.
At this time, China's previously integrated supply chain system fully entered a phase of full-scale expansion. Faced with the rapidly increasing global demand, the products were still in short supply. The German market was fully established, becoming a key pillar of TIENS' European market, marking the entry of globalization into a period of full-scale expansion.
Supplier representatives from 14 countries and regions attended. These 14 countries basically represent major nations across several key continents overseas. These supplier representatives cover a wide range of fields, including health supplements, daily chemical products, healthcare equipment, as well as other products in which their respective countries specialize. All these agent suppliers will be present, with approximately 20 suppliers arriving from overseas. Orders from Europe, North America, Africa, Latin America, and other places converged here continuously, and TIENS' international sales network was formally established.
The first step is always the hardest. At first, it truly was moving 1,000 caddies. With 4 tails, we pried open the market gradually. Now, looking back, it has become 4 tails, moving 1,000 caddies.
Li Jinyuan was born in the countryside. His parents named him Jinyuan. hoping that he could earn a stable life and achieve financial stability with his own hands. Now, he earns not only renminbi, but also rubles, US dollars, euros, British pounds, and marks. TIENS has expanded across the globe. Li Jinyuan once said that his has a strong fascination with maps. There are maps everywhere he can see, on the table and on the wall. In his office, there is a huge world map spread out on the floor. He paces across it every day, with one foot on Europe, the other near North America, and when he turns around, he looks towards Africa. Li Jinyuan walks on the 7 continents and 4 oceans every day. We really don't know where he will make his next breakthrough one day. From the humiliation in Moscow, to the recognition in Bangkok, to the resonance in St. Petersburg, and to the expansion in Berlin. TIENS completed its initial breakthrough phase in the overseas market in just 3 years, and forged a path for Chinese private enterprises to go global. Ice-breaking, integration, expansion, and commitment. What truly resonates with the world is never material incentives, such as BMW luxury cars, luxury yachts, private jets, and villas. But TIENS' deep-rooted perseverance, refusing to retreat when questioned, honoring commitments when besieged, not being impetuous when recognized, and adhering to the original aspiration of remaining steadfast. It is also the inherent Songzhou perseverance and Li Jinyuan, never yielding, never giving up, and determined to make achievements on the more difficult roads. This is what a Chinese entrepreneur should be like. To this day, TIENS' international operations system has continued to advance. The global market is still expanding. The supply chain system is becoming more and more perfect, and the international sales network is becoming increasingly interconnected. What's more precious is that TIENS does not progress alone, but opens pathways to international expansion for more countries, more partners, and more entrepreneurs. This is not a mere product distribution, but a mature and replicable model, investment promotion. It is not a short-lived opportunity, but a sustainable, mutually beneficial development platform, and even an cross-industry alliance gathering global forces to realize the linkage of 10,000 chains and the sharing of high-quality products, allowing more people to fulfill their entrepreneurial ambitions and overseas dreams through this platform. Telling stories of wealth, savoring all aspects of life. This is Stories of Wealth. I'm Wang Kai. That's all for today's story. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.